Hey guys, welcome back to the Lights Camera Grow podcast. My name's Jared. Thanks for joining us here on episode 3. If you missed the first 2 episodes, make sure you go back and subscribe so you can check out all the details that we drop in there. In this episode, Andrew and I are going to talk about how to actually get started. Now that we've walked you through in the first 2 episodes of what you need and the things to do, this one we're actually going to crack open what you actually do to get started. If you're really interested, make sure you check out the full episode, and also don't forget to subscribe. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, or anywhere you find a podcast. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Lights Camera Grow. I'm Jared. This is Andrew. We are on episode number 3 of our video marketing podcast. Thank you guys again for joining. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you rate, subscribe, and you can find us in iTunes, Spotify, or anywhere you can find a podcast. So we just got done with episode 2, Andrew. So we're in episode 3 now of this.
I kind of like this format, man. Like it's a little bit easier to stay focused, on a topic. And for anyone, for all those listening out there, we've kind of gone through a few different iterations of our podcast, and we're experimenting with a new format where we're kind of building a more episodic, focused sort of series.
Yeah, in chunks. I think this one is going to be 4 total.
Yeah.
We have 4 podcasts that are kind of related to each other.
Yep.
It's still going to be the same podcast title, but the next season will be 4 more that are in a different context.
Yeah.
But that relate to each other.
Yep. And I think, even us as we're expert content creators, right? We try to be at least. But we're always changing up our strategy, right?
Yeah,
we're always experimenting with new things. And this podcast, quite frankly, is actually one giant experiment.
Yeah.
So as you see different formats and you see, us trying different types of things, it's really a blue ocean out there, right? There's no such thing as right or wrong in content creation. So we're just trying to figure out what engages with you the best, what types of formats do you like the best? Do you like getting deep on a specific topic?
Yeah.
Or do you like just jumping around between random stuff in marketing and tech world?
Yeah.
So for anyone out there that's listening, if you have any feedback and you like the direction it's heading in, or if you fucking hate it.
Actually, if you hate it, please tell us, because that's actually really really good information.
For sure. So anyway, sorry.
Cool. No, that was good. If anybody wants to, hit us up, info@tobeagency.co.
Yep.
That's a direct line that's the bat phone.
Yeah.
As you will. Cool. Yeah. Let's go ahead and jump into episode. Don't get jumped in. There's no gang activity going on here. Let's jump into episode 3. And since we've been focused on video marketing and creating video for your marketing strategy, all right, how do you get started? You have all this information. You've plotted everything out. You have this, let's paint a picture real quick. You've got your whiteboard, right? Because that's the marketer's favorite tool. Set up. You have your Venn diagrams going. You have your word webs, your sticky notes everywhere, right? You have every color of dry erase marker under the sun. You have all this stuff planned, plotted out, scheduled. What do we do now? Because this is the biggest thing, right? How do you take that first step? And what is that first step?
I think the first question you ask yourself is, do the people I sell to or market to, do they even give a shit about video? Will they watch
That's
video?
A great first question.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, I think we get caught up a lot.
Sure.
But video is the future of marketing. Right. It's the mecca of content. It's where everything is going, right? But there still are places out there and demographics or cohorts of different, whoever you're targeting, right? There's still people out there who video is not the best content for them, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that the point I'm trying to make is you need to make a case for yourself to say that I need to invest in video, because you should not put 1 foot out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out of it.
Right.
It's going to end up being worse than if you decide not to do it in the first place.
Yeah.
So I think that's the first thing before you even write anything on the whiteboard is ask yourself, does my audience need video? Right?
Yeah. Does my product or service need video?
Yeah.
Is it going to actually help push it forward or get me to that next goal that I have?
Yep. You got to ask where's my audience actually going to today? Right? Look, if you're doing direct mail campaigns and you're you're converting through them, I'm not sure.
Probably going to be a lot cheaper to keep doing that.
Exactly. Right? So I guess the point here is just know why you need video.
Yeah.
There's got to be a business case for it, because if you're going to make a business case for it, you need to make the investment. And we're going to talk about investment. It's not just money.
Nope.
Sometimes the investment is more time
than
it is money, right? And for all of us who are small business owners and all that out there, like, we know how valuable time is and how quickly that can go away, right? So that'd be my first thing, is just know why you're creating it.
Yeah.
Right?
And something we touched on pretty heavily in the pre-production part of the last episode is what's the objective?
Yeah.
Like, why are we shooting this? Now that we've determined that, okay, we do need video, and we have done all the planning on the whiteboard, but like, seriously, why are we shooting this? You know, what's the message?
So what are some examples of objectives that you could achieve with the video,
I would say, well, if you want to tell your company story, these are the basic pillars of like video marketing, right? About us videos, who we are. If you want people to know a little bit more about the company culture that is inside your company, product videos are the biggest one, right? We've seen those forever in any scale of marketing or advertising, the product video. So those are like the big ones. There's some more storytelling and episodic or more docu-style or interview style types of video that you can create. Maybe it's testimonial.
Sure.
From your clients. And you want to show people how good your service is, and you have real people that can actually vouch for it. Testimonials are great.
So that's the key, is like, okay, we're going to create a video, right? But what's the business objective that we're trying to achieve with that video, right? So that's definitely a first step, right? What are we creating it? How are we creating, or why are we creating it, right? The other challenge I always find too is, when you create any kind of content, it doesn't matter if it's a blog content or social,
white paper or
whatever. Where do you put the damn thing?
Where's this going to live?
Where are you going to get eyeballs on it? Right. Where are you going to get distribution on it? So I think that's another like important thing. So some videos, like, you can put any video you want on YouTube, obviously.
Or on your website.
Right, on your website, right? But for some videos, or like, if you're going to create like episodic style content, it's going to be more consistent. Maybe that's a content strategy that's more suited for posting on social video platforms, like YouTube, for example, right? Whereas the About Us video, yes, that can live on your YouTube page, but you're not going to get people coming back to your YouTube channel. It'll be evergreen
on your website.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's another, I think, part of the planning, if you're going to make the investment.
It also gives you an idea of how should you shoot the video. If you're shooting for a specific platform like YouTube or Instagram, chances are you're probably going to be more on the casual side. The video is going to be a little bit more casual, a little bit more lifestyle, a little bit more appealing to the audiences that go to those channels, right? Whereas if you're shooting a video for LinkedIn, you want to button it up a little bit. It's going to be a little bit more business-like. Same thing for your website. You want to show the best version of your business or yourself. So you're going to put that on your website.
So can you let's actually, while we're talking about like maybe taking first steps about video, tell me so there's like social video content, which is very different from like produced live.
Sometimes it is, right?
Right. Sure. So
the line blurs.
But it's almost like I see like what you would shoot for IG stories or like any type of like true social, like this is called vertical video. Right. That's a little bit different from like a branded company About Us video. Right. And so if you have to kind of make the trade-off or decide, like, in your mind, how do you make that decision if you have to prioritize where you put your video efforts?
Sure. Well, that comes down to who is the brand. At the very basic level, right? Like, what does your brand stand for? And this goes back into some of the pre-production topics that we were talking about. Where do your customers stand on that side of the line? Are you going to have really young kids watching it? Is it like, do you have like a lot of skateboarders watching your video, or do you have a lot of marketers watching your video? Where does it stand in these different sectors or demographics? And that can really push you to what platform and how you're going to tailor your videos. So a client of ours, their clients are large businesses, right? So the videos we shot for them are kind of buttoned up, but we showed some humor to them. But mainly we know that their people that they're going to deal with are a little bit more like white collar workers, like corporate style.
Yep.
So it had to fit that realm, right? Even though they were really funny in their videos and quite comedic, to be honest.
That's true.
And they showed a side of them that we didn't even know was there.
Yeah, right.
The videos are really fun, but they still have that, corporate feel.
Yeah, sure.
So it just depends on who your audience is.
I think another angle on that is, if you're shooting video and social content, you got to keep doing that.
Oh yeah, that's a great. That's
you gotta,
a great point.
You gotta like, if you're gonna be doing IG stories every day,
it's got to be done every day.
It's got to be done every day, right? Whereas if you produce like a more produced like live action About Us video, that's probably going to hang up there for about a year, and people aren't expecting additional content to come out after that, right?
Yeah, that's a great
So
point.
the cadence at which you produce your content becomes super important because, especially on social, like if you're not putting content out there every day, you're getting buried at the bottom of the feed.
Yeah,
right?
seriously. The other thing that's a great point to that is your production value now can go way down.
Yeah, exactly.
You can afford to take a hit on production, right?
Exactly.
You don't have to have it really polished, really well produced.
Yep.
You can go out with like a videographer or your iPhone if you want and shoot these videos. It's more about cadence and the amount of times that you're actually showing up every day versus the quality that's showing up every day.
Exactly.
Now, if you can do both, kudos to you, and that's awesome. But you're going to spend a lot of time and money.
And hopefully you're getting paid for it.
Hopefully the back end of it is really done. Well.
So we just talked like maybe like more strategic considerations for getting started. What about more technical, like equipments, like that kind of stuff? Not all of us have $5,000 to go out there and drop on most of us probably don't even know how to use most of that equipment, right? Properly,
right.
So in your eyes, like what are, from a technical standpoint, how do you get started?
Start cheap.
Okay.
I would say start cheap.
Wait, you're telling me to start cheap?
Yes, start cheap. So
you got it on camera here.
Start cheap, and that includes also starting cheap on your learning of this, right? Go to YouTube.
Right.
YouTube is a great resource for these kind of things. You can probably find, I don't know, millions of camera reviews, millions of iPhone camera reviews. Use what you have first, test. And this is a big thing that we just practice in general. And you kind of touched on it in the beginning of the episode where we do these iterations and we're always testing and experimenting. Test, experiment, see if it's even worth it. See if you're any good on camera or if the person you're shooting is any good on camera. Ask a buddy.
Yeah.
These are, and I'm not saying these are like the greatest ways to get the highest produced piece of content, but these are great ways to get started.
Yeah. I think another thing is like when you first get into it, whether you're doing it yourself or you're hiring outside contractors to help you and stuff, when you first start out, like you don't know enough.
Sure. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, right? Exactly. And so then if you lock yourself into certain types of equipment or a workflow or whatever, you're going to learn more. And said, crap, I didn't think about this, and now I got to buy the upgraded version of this. Yeah, right.
And the way I like to think about it is, you can spend X amount of time and effort and money getting and figuring out what equipment you can use, or you can just figure that out, put it aside, figure it out cheaply, and spend all that extra time on why are you doing this? Who is this for? And the important things that actually matter in the video.
Right. Yeah, I think I think we all know how powerful smartphones are now and the cameras on them. It doesn't matter if you're an Android or an iPhone or whatever. I think the key is it's planning the story. And just thinking through the messaging in the story. And quite frankly, I actually would say that if you don't even want to bother with production or anything or editing or anything that happens in post-production, if you can nail down that first part, the story and the messaging, you can always hire outside people to do the production piece for you, right? So if you're just like overwhelmed, like, man, I don't want to deal with camera equipment. Man, I don't want to deal with lighting. I don't want to find my intern or whatever.
Whoever, right.
Like just hire someone, but spend your time and energy and effort, like investing in that story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's always the key. I mean, there's like thousands of videos online, hundreds of thousands of videos online, right? And some of the best produced content out there has been done with like an iPhone.
Yeah.
I mean, we always go back to this example of Dollar Shave Club.
Yep.
Granted, the production, they did spend some money. It wasn't, but by Hollywood budget or even budget in the realm that they were playing in, the space they were playing in,
yep,
they didn't spend like a tenth of what these productions spend, right?
Right.
They wrote the story themselves.
Yeah.
The CEO acted. He did hire a director, but they hired a small production team.
Yep.
But their warehouse was the location. You know, it was like they saved money on all these things. So if you can do that and really focus in on those key points that you just mentioned, it'll make the end product, no matter what the quality is, be that much better.
Actually, and in fact, so most of our clients, when they hire us, we come up with the story.
Right. We do everything.
We do everything. But actually, now I think about it, we've never had a project where they're like, we know exactly what we want.
Yeah.
Go shoot it.
Yeah.
No one knows it.
No one really knows. Yeah.
So even if you need help with the story, like you might actually want to bring in a pro, right, to help you think through the storyline a little bit more and to maybe look at it from, is that easy to express on camera?
Right.
Right. So I guess getting started is always, we're trying to give you some examples of how maybe you might be able to do it on your own.
Right.
But typically the path of least resistance is get a little bit of help, someone who's been there before, you know, and, you know, not to toot our own horn, but like we found that clients who have tried to do it on their own and they brought us in and we kind of showed them our pipeline, they're like, oh, this is why the finished product actually looks like this now. Yeah. You know what I mean? As opposed to using their like guy who has a camera and a bunch of lenses and does photography as a hobby, but they're actually doing videography, right? But yeah, I think there's some value in like, at least for the first time, if you're trying it out, maybe bring in an outside consultant or someone who's done it before to give you a little bit of advice.
Yeah,
you know?
the advice can go a long way.
Yep.
And you know, just to touch back on the basic equipment stuff, like we were talking about shooting with your iPhone. You know, you can use house light bulbs and house lights and just basic stuff that you can find. A couple of YouTube tutorials and that, you know, can go a long way. I would say the one thing that you never really should skim out on, and this is if you're going to have voiceover in it, is audio. Sure. Audio can go a really long way. And bad audio goes.
Yeah, and just remember, most people are listening to things through their like computer speakers or like their headphones. TV speakers or like crappy headphones. And especially if the message is all delivered, a lot of the times, like people don't have the budget to deliver the message just purely visually. Right. So there's a lot of audio that's telling the story, right? So it's almost like the audio becomes as important as the visual image that's out there, right?
Definitely
does. It's just the person talking most of the time.
Yeah, the audio quality is super important because I think I will turn, and this is just self-habit, I'll turn off a video that I don't like if I don't like it in the first like 3 to 5 seconds.
Oh, for sure.
If the audio is bad, it goes away instantly. The visual, I'm like, oh, what am I watching for a few seconds? And then I'll figure it out, right? But if it sounds like shit, I'm going to probably not watch it.
Exactly. That's so true. Cool, man. Well, no, I think that's like, hopefully that gives everyone like a decent overview of like what to start thinking about as you're putting a video strategy together. I think sometimes a lot of folks overthink things.
Yeah, it's easy. It's
and
easy
sometimes the best thing to do is just fucking do it.
Yeah, write it down.
See how bad it comes out. You know what I mean? And then you're like, okay, well, I got over that hump. Yeah. And then you start tweaking and fixing and optimizing. And then, you know, it starts to become fun. It does become a time suck, which is why we keep talking about time and money. Right. But I think these are some considerations you can have is like some steps before even starting the process, maybe getting some help if you've never done it before, or whether it's a YouTube video or an actual pro, you know, to be out there. But yeah, I mean, I think, you know, video in the end is an investment. Right. And so this is a lot of the, let's call it like pre-production that has to happen before you even sink some time and money.
This is like the initial brainstorming concept and things like that. I would just say, you know, last words of advice on it, just start smart. You know, just think about as much as you can ahead of time, write it down, and then get opinions from other people who have done it before. This isn't new, you know, like talk to other companies, see who they've used, see where their pain points were. It's just like any other product out there you can review, you know, just ask somebody
Totally.
and ask for help.
Yep. Cool.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this like video marketing of the 101s.
Yep.
The series and that.
Yep.
On the next
cool episode coming up.
On the next episode, we have 2 guests from HubSpot, Nick and John.
Yep.
Awesome guys. They're actually going to talk to you guys about how you can use video in sales and the sales process in general. And they get pretty nerdy on the sales cycle.
Yeah. Just
really
for anyone out there who's cold calling, we have a solution for you. Just stop cold calling, and we have a solution that will replace the cold calls.
So if you're terrified of it or you just suck at it.
Yep. We've got
if
something
you're
for
not Jordan Belfort in Wolf of Wall Street and you can't read the script well, this should be right up your alley.
Right on.
Cool. All right. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, tell a friend about the Lights, Camera, Grow podcast. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, Google, or anywhere you can find a podcast. We'll see you on the next one.